Hi, this is Let's Talk Real Estate. Let's get real. My name is Darragh from Century 21 Dreams, and today I'm your host. Today I'm going to talk about decluttering. I get asked all the time by clients about how to get their house ready to both sell or honestly just to also enjoy if they've bought the house and they're really moving from a property where really they found that they had too many belongings and they were used to living in clutter. And a lot of people, particularly as we get older, we really do want to streamline how we live. It makes everything easier. It's less stressful. They've done studies. For allergy purposes, it's a lot better to have less clutter. And also, you don't even know what you've bought, particularly in cupboards with clothing, etc. And it's a good thing to, get used to, especially if you've got kids, to really get them to really get on a path to be more organized in their future. So there's a few things that experts tell us. There's a lot of books obviously that are out there, but one of the things is there's some steps involved, and one of them is to come to terms with whether or not you're really naturally organized or not. We can have the perfect house, showcased in listings and in magazines and, on our wonderful TV shows that make everything, major renovations or builds look like you do it in a day. But you really have to understand what makes you tick, and really that's really important. Some people are just inclined to be more neat and orderly and others are not. So really you have to learn to work with really what is your natural inclination and whether or not you need some help in getting rid of some of the stuff. Really, also we have to really start to declutter and put things into perspective. Homes are very personal. There's emotional ties to our homes and our contents that as a realtor I see all the time. I'm always saying to people, don't assume somebody's selling for, just for the sake of selling. Some people are buying up, some people are downsizing. Sometimes they have to sell. It could be a divorce, it could be financial. But there is often, even if they're not forced to sell, there's emotional ties involved, and sometimes the emotions that people go through at the different stages of buying and selling actually surprise them as well. And the same goes with decluttering and the contents in our house. We have personal attachments to things, memories, it's just like smell is a big sensory for people as well. So we really have to come to terms with really the contents and why we want to keep them. We're also very fearful. One of the things that people often will not get, reasons why they won't get rid of things, is their fear of later, fear of making the wrong choice, of tossing something that later they'll regret or that they'll need. And really many times, I know a few people who are actually quite ruthless, I think, in their decluttering, where if they haven't used something for a few months, they get rid of it. But really, it's often a lot easier once you do get rid of things to do it again, and it is a very freeing up experience. Sometimes it's better to tackle the worst area, the area that has the most either sentimental value or that you really find would be really hard to declutter. I know some people who have huge libraries, so again, books, they value them more than even their other personal belongings. Clothing, china, things like that. So sometimes it's better to tackle the worst and then everything else is easier. Sometimes it can be quite the opposite. It's better to do the areas that aren't as big a deal. But again, you have to figure out, really it's all about your personality and really what will get you to move forward to get rid of the rest of the stuff. You have to also, while you're going through this thing, you can get deviated and your attention can go elsewhere, and it's really important to stay motivated. Find the motivation, such as finding yourself with a decluttered house and how that would feel. If you've cleaned up, often you'll feel that feeling that it just suddenly feels cleaner, and you feel better, you feel healthier, and you feel more motivated. So again, you have to stay motivated and figure out what is, getting you to really want to do this. It could be that you're listing your property. I see that all the time, that people have decades of contents that they need to get rid of. But again, you need to stay focused and you will feel better. Also, if you have kids, now we've talked about that, it's very hard sometimes with kids to get them to declutter. I do this all the time with my kids, and it really is I know even my daughter, who often, will reluctantly put things away or get rid of things, she does feel better, and she's come to me later when it's gotten a little messy again and said, can you help me? So I think underneath it all, subconsciously, we do want, even our kids want to be in a more organized, environment. So really, you need to have really a plan with your kids. Sometimes it really helps. I've found this with a lot of people when they're getting rid of stuff with their kids, is to really sort it by broken stuff, things that they're getting rid of, things that they're donating, or things that they're selling. And if they're selling it, the idea of having the proceeds go back to the child is often very, very motivating to get them going. So that's another area. Also, to ask for help. Sometimes this job can be really overwhelming, and sometimes you need a professional, or sometimes you just need a friend to come, almost make it like a party, so a lot of times, or you need professionals to come in. But again, and sometimes it's just to get rid of stuff. It's bigger stuff to get people to take it away to often dumps, or to organizations where it can be reused again. I know in selling some of my personal properties, we were pack rats at different point, and a lot of our stuff got donated to other people. So that was great, that actually could use it. And then really after that, once you've gone through all of this, really is the next step to simplify your life so that you don't actually have the same issue going forward. Having less stuff, especially as you get older, you realize it is honestly such a freeing experience. So I hope that this has helped. Take care, and I'll see you on the next podcast.